Hello friends, my name is Vivek Sharma. Today we can cover this interesting problem that's called find the celebrity. So this is the detail of this problem, right? So I will just conclude this problem like we need to find the celebrity, and the definition of a celebrity is basically that all the other n minus 1 people know him or her, but he or she does not know any of them. So that is the definition of celebrity, and we need to find such person. Now, we have given this API. We have been given this API that's called relation, and this API is having one method that's called knows, means whether person A knows B, right? So we need to call this API, and with the help of this API, we will know whether person A knows B or not, right? So that's the help we can take from this API method, right? Called knows. So to understand this problem, you can just go through this detail. So I'm not going to read through all this detail, but let's directly jump to this diagram and let's try to understand what this problem is asking us to do. And then we will discuss the implementation part and we will convert our thought in the code. So let's jump into it. So let's say we are having three person here, 0, 1, 2, and the arrow is like this. So another thing, input is in this format like two-dimensional matrix, but we don't have the access of this 2D array, right? We just have the access of this n. So we already know that how many people are there in the party, and we have the access of this method of the relation API. So we can use this method called knows, and then with the help of this knows API or knows method, we can use in the two between the two persons, right, labeled as A and B, so that we can know whether A knows or knows B or not, right, with the help of this method. So that's what only we can use, but we cannot use this two-dimensional array. So there is no use of this. The input is only n, means how many people are there in the party. So let's say for in this example we are having three people, and that's labeled with 0, 1, 2, and it means 2 knows 0 because this arrow is like that, and 0 knows 1, and 2 also knows 1. So in this problem, who is the celebrity, right? So celebrity is 1. Why celebrity is 1? Because 2 also knows 1 and 0 also knows 1, and 1 does not know anyone, right? So the arrow should be like this if 1 knows 2, or arrow should also be like this if 1 knows 0, right? But this arrow is not like that. So I'm not sure if you got a chance to go through the town judge video, but there is another problem called a find town judge, but it's pretty similar problem, right? Like this problem itself. So if you did not get a chance, just go ahead and just quick have a very quick look on the find the town judge. I think that's also pretty similar because that's also work on the very similar diagram kind of thing, but implementation approach might be a little different, but it's kind of a similar problem. So just a heads up. All right, so just come back to this problem now. So in this case, one is the celebrity. Now let's go through the second example. So second example, the diagram looks like this: 0, 1, 2 here, 1, 2, and 1 knows 0, 0 knows 2, and 2 knows 1. So who is the celebrity here, right? So 1 knows 0, 0 knows 2, 2 knows 1, right? So in this diagram, there is no such person that is known by everybody else, right? Because 1 knows 0, but who knows 1? 2. And the first condition is basically this person, if it is a celebrity, he should not know anyone. This person should be known by other person, but if 1 knows 0, then this condition is not meeting, right? Celebrity condition is not meeting. Also 0 knows 2, then it means it cannot be celebrity, it cannot be celebrity, and 2 knows 1, it cannot be celebrity. In this case, let's see, 1, he does not know anyone, he or she does not know anyone, right? 0 knows, so 0 cannot be celebrity. 2 knows 0 and 1, so 2 cannot be celebrity, so 1 can be celebrity, right? So these are the two examples given. Now let's first of all collect the requirements, right? So what are our requirements that have been given? So uh, requirements are basically celebrity is the person that does not know anyone, right? So does not know anybody else, right? Anyone, right? Except himself or herself, right? Because definitely he will know himself or herself, right? Anyone else. All right. So this is the person, and is known by everybody else, everybody, right? So this is the definition of celebrity, that celebrity does not know anyone else and is known by everybody, right? So if these two conditions are meeting, then we can say that this guy is the celebrity, right? Now how we are going to solve this problem, let's come to the implementation part. So implementation part is basically, first of all, what we can do, we are having the number 0 till n minus 1. So we are having 0 till n minus 1, right? So we can hypothetically think of that there is, let's say the celebrity is 0. We don't know, right? We don't know that who is the celebrity, so let's assume that 0 is the celebrity. Now let's make the assumption that 0 is the celebrity, and then just go through this loop, right? So what we can do, in the for loop, we can just loop 1 2 3 till n minus 1 number, right? And then we can check, we can use this API, nose API, and with the nose API we can check, okay, if 0 knows this guy 1 or not, right? If 0 knows 1, then it means it cannot be celebrity, 0 cannot be celebrity. So then what we can do, we can, let's say I am having this variable x, then x I can become 1. Now my next candidate will be 1. Now similarly I will check with 2. I will check, okay, if 1 knows 2 or not, right? So now my next candidate is 1. So now 1 also knows 2. Let's, for example, hypothetically, right? If 1 also knows 2, then my next candidate will be 2. Because remember, the important point here is the celebrity does not know anybody else, right? So here we are making assumption like, if this person X is the celebrity, and if he or she is knowing other person, then he cannot be celebrity. He or she cannot be celebrity, and that's why we keep reassigning to the next candidate, next eligible number, and that's why we are just doing this. If 1 knows 2, then it means 1 cannot be celebrity, so we are assigning 2. Now let's go through to the 3. So let's check here 2. If 2 knows 3, if 2 knows 3, then it means 3 can be might be celebrity, right? So we will assign X as a 3. Similarly we will keep doing, right? So in this case, that we will have the candidate that it might be celebrity, 3 might be celebrity. So this is first iteration that we can use this approach, in the hope that we will find celebrity at some point of the time, right? So once we will store this number, arbitrary number, using this logic, then the only thing we need to check that 3 or whatever number we found so far, if it is not celebrity. If it is not celebrity, we will return -1, right? That's what problem is asking us to do. If there is no celebrity, return -1, and if there is a celebrity, then this guy will be the celebrity. Now let's run through this logic with this example 0 1 2. Okay, so now let's see, we are having these three numbers 0 1 2, and who was the celebrity? Celebrity was 1. So the diagram is like this. Let's quickly check this diagram as well. 0 1 2, and the diagram was like that. So 0 is pointing to 1, 0 is pointing to 2, and 1 2 is also pointing to 1. All right, so what we were saying, that let's say I am taking some variable x by z or anything. This is just a name, right? So x means this is a candidate, just a variable name. And what I will do, I will have one loop that will run for 1 and 2, and I will use that knows, let's say 0, if 0 knows 1 or not, right? So let's verify from this. 0 knows 1, yes, it knows 1, then x value will be 1, right? So x we are changing from 0 to 1. Now what we will do? Now we will check. Okay, so now x value has become 1. So we will check now if 1 knows 2 or not, right? So we were earlier for 1 and now we are checking now for 2. Okay, so now we are checking for 2. So does 1 know 2? So 1 knows 2? No, it does not know, because 2 knows 1 but 1 does not know 2. So far we have found the candidate as a 1. All right, so far this is the celebrity candidate. Now let's verify whether it's not celebrity, right? So there were other conditions as well. So does not know anybody else and is known by everybody else, right? So now what we will check, let's see here. So 1, does he or she know anybody else? No, because there is arrow. 0 knows 1, 2 knows 1, but 1 does not know 0 and 1 does not know 2, right? So far so good, right? And other condition was basically does not know anybody else and is known by everybody. So here let's check in this diagram, it known by 0 as well and 2 as well. So I think this is the celebrity. So once we check this final condition as well, second condition, this condition as well, then we can full proof that this is the candidate, this is the celebrity, right? So I hope if this is clear, let's convert this thought into the code quickly. So what we will do, we will just take one variable. Let's say this is candidate here, candidate or x. In the diagram I was mentioning it as x. Let's say it is candidate, and let's make one for loop. I equals to 1, I is less than n. Why less than n? Because it's still from 0 to n minus 1, right? So 0 we are already taking as a candidate, and we will use this API, knows API, right? So knows, if candidate knows I, then what does that mean? If candidate knows this I, then it cannot be celebrity, right? So we need to reassign the celebrity. So we need to reassign candidate the same way that we were doing here, right? So if here 0 knows, so if 0 knows 1, right? If 0 knows 1, then we were reassigning the candidate as a 1, right? Similarly we are doing here as well. If 0 knows 1, then we will reassign 1. Similarly then 1 we will check. Now the updated value will be 1, and then 1 it will be checking for 2. If 1 knows 2, then it means the candidate might become 2. So that's why we will keep reassigning the candidate in the hope that we will find the celebrity, right? And then we will return candidate. Now before that, we just need to again make sure that it is a celebrity or not. So because here we were just doing the linear time, linearly we will be checking, but it is a possibility that these conditions that we mentioned, that this celebrity does not know anybody else and is known by everybody. These two conditions we need to make sure that it's getting fulfilled or not. If it is not getting fulfilled, then it's not celebrity. So let's verify those conditions as well here, right? So integer I equals to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, and then let's check here. So if I is not equal to candidate and knows, right? Who knows? If candidate knows I, what does that mean? That means is basically whatever the candidate we found here, if this candidate knows anyone, any other element, any other person labeled as I, then it means it cannot be celebrity. Then what we will do, we will go ahead and return -1. And why we are checking I is not equal to candidate? Because candidate himself or herself should know himself or herself, right? So it should not be applicable for that particular person. So for example, I myself knows myself, right? This rule should not be applied for myself, but it should be applied for everybody else. So similarly for the celebrity, this rule, we cannot say that celebrity knows himself or herself, right? Who's the celebrity should already be knowing himself or herself. So that's why we should say that I is not equal to candidate, so that this condition we can check for the other candidate, because as per the definition of celebrity, he should know uh, all the other n minus 1 people, right? So everybody else he should know, right? So far so good. Now if he knows, then it means it's not celebrity, right? Because everybody else should know celebrity. Celebrity should not is not supposed to know everybody else. That's why we use the knows. And another condition we need to check here, if there is any other person, if there is any other person, right, that also knows that also does not know this celebrity. What does that mean? Does not know means he might not be celebrity. So in this case, right, in this example, if in fact that was this example, right? So this example, so if basically if we compare these two diagrams, so one is known by 0 and 2 both, but in this case one does not know, like everybody else is knowing everybody else, but there is no such person that is getting known by other persons, right? So in this case one is a celebrity, in this case there is no celebrity, so -1. So that's why we are just making sure here that if any other candidate that does not know celebrity, then also it will not be celebrity. So if we are able to match these two conditions here, just to make sure that these conditions are getting fulfilled, these two conditions, the celebrity does not know anybody else and is known by everybody else, right, then it means it's celebrity. So that's the core logic. Now let's compile and see if it is working fine, if compilation is working. So if compilation is working, let's quickly check for the time complexity. This should be linear time complexity. Space complexity should be 1 because we are not taking any other additional array. Let's quickly check for whether it's working or not. So looks like this logic is working, whatever we find. So quickly, before ending this video, just quick summary. First of all, we have been given this graph kind of the structure, so let's not be scared or anything, and just check the actual thing. So we have been given the number of people, and we have been given this helper API as well, that's called a relation. We can use this method knows, whether we can just figure it out whether A knows B or not with the help of this method, right? So what we can do here, probably we can use this diagram and we can check like what's going on in this problem, right? So celebrity is the person who is known by everybody else, and these two conditions, right? So and he or she does not know anyone else and is known by everybody else. So basically there should be incoming arrows only if it is celebrity, and there should not be any outgoing arrow, right? So that's the basic thing that we have learned so far. Now for the implementation part, we don't need to directly jump that how we will calculate the celebrity, but we will do it basically in the on the assumption manner. We will assume that very first element is a celebrity. So let's walk through the code. We will just assume that the very first candidate means, let's say in this example we have been given all the numbers from 0 to n-1. So we will say that okay, 0 might be candidate, and then from 1 to n, 1 till n-1, we will check whether 0 knows 1 or not. If 0 knows 1, that 1 cannot be then 1 cannot be celebrity, right? So we will reassign candidate as a 1, and then we will check again for 1 that 1 knows 2 or not. If 1 knows 2, then it means 1 can also not be celebrity, cannot be celebrity, because celebrity does not supposed to know anyone else, right? It does not supposed to know anybody else. That is the definition. That's why we are checking and we are reassigning this candidate thing. So this is like we will just do that, and we will just make sure that these two conditions are getting fulfilled or not with the help of this notes that we have already taken, that celebrity does not know anyone else and is known by everybody. So the first condition is basically he or she does not know anybody else, right? So we are checking I is not equal to candidate because celebrity will know himself or herself. So it will not, this rule will not apply to the celebrity itself, but it will apply that just make sure that celebrity does not know anybody else, right? So if celebrity knows anybody else, then it means it's written -1, right? Because it does not know anybody else. This should be the rule, and is known by everybody. So that's the second condition. If anybody else does not know celebrity, then it's not celebrity, right? Everybody else should be knowing celebrity, and that's what we are checking on the second condition, is known by everybody. So this is like the negative testing. Negative testing means just to make sure that it's the celebrity. If it's not, then go ahead with the return -1. So these are, we can say, like negative testing, and this is basically for the positive cases, right? positive cases, or not in fact casting, but it is negative cases. So I hope this should be useful. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.